A few months ago, some friends and I were talking about the impending proposed budget cuts and the impact that it was going to have on millions and millions of people. Specifically, we were talking about the cuts to SNAP and the requirement that you will have to work in order to qualify for any form of public assistance, public housing, food stamps, Medicaid. And what I know from history, I told them, well, here is the play. Who do you think that they are going to force to work in those fields when they are running off, now that they are running off Hispanic residents of this country and deporting undocumented workers? Pookie and Shay Shay them. And then this is what the U.S. Secretary of Agriculture had to say this week.
There's been a lot of noise in the last few days and a lot of questions about where the president stands in his vision for farm labor. The first thing I'll say is the president has been unequivocal that there will be no amnesty. And I think that's very, very important. I and the rest of our cabinet certainly support that, effectuate that, and make sure that happens every single day. The second thing, to your question about mass deportations, the president and I have spoken about that once or twice, and he has always been of the mindset that at the end of the day, the promise to America to ensure that we have a 100% American workforce stands, but we must be strategic in how we are implementing the mass deportation so as not to compromise our food supply. Ultimately, the answer on this is automation, also some reform within the current governing structure. And then also, when you think about, there are 34 million able-bodied adults in our Medicaid program. There are plenty of workers in America, but we just have to make sure we're not compromising today, especially in the context of everything we're thinking about right now.
And there it is. It's American Economics 101. And I'm not talking about supporting people who don't want to work or who are mooching off of the system. That is a significant crisis that I'll discuss the origins of in another video. But the play here is to regenerate and reconstitute an unskilled labor class that can move the economic engine of this country, which is predicated on white supremacy. That's what slavery was. America became an economic superpower because it never had to pay for the labor as it built its industry. And so today they want to pay as little as possible. And I know there are more white people, yes, on public assistance than there are black people, but that's where the white supremacy comes in. Because trust me, they will have an out before we do. So part of the solution here is to get our people really tapped into the political process in a significant way, registering to vote and voting for people who will work to remove barriers that prevent people from having access to quality jobs that will pay them livable wages so they can take care of their family, for removing barriers to quality education that will help leverage them out of poverty. The people are doing this in the broad daylight, y'all. So we can sit back and continue to say that our vote does not matter, but theirs sure did.